Oh my God, why do I enjoy embarrassing myself? This is the unofficial, official guide to Tindering in South Korea. I talked about it like a little bit in a video a while back where I talked about my dating experience in Korea, because pretty much every guy I've ever gone out with, I met on Tinder. If you're looking for that type of content, then that's your video up there. But if you're looking to learn the differences between Korean Tinder and North American Tinder, then this is the video you want. As you know, Hot Girl Summer is fast approaching. I am preparing myself for Hot Girl Summer in many different ways. I am studying Korean so hard. As great as Tinder is, I would like to meet people in the wild. Where did my jacket go? Great question. I wanted to show off my outfit because the second thing I'm doing is I am preparing my Hot Girl Summer wardrobe. So this top you might be familiar with. I actually wore it in my Yes Style haul video, which I'll link up there, but I wore it again because I wanted to show you that I figured out how to actually tie it properly. So there's like a long string at the back, so anyways, if you want to jazz up your wardrobe for Hot Girl Summer, I would definitely recommend Yes Style. And of course, I want you to save some dough. So be sure to use my rewards code, which is just my name, CAMILLEBLAIS, same as the channel. I've got a link in the description box for you if you would prefer to use that as well, and you can copy paste the code from there. Woohoo! You save 2 to 5%. The third thing I've done to prepare for Hot Girl Summer is, of course, re-downloaded Tinder. So for a while when I was studying really hard and like working on like this imaginary glow up that I'm having in my head, I got rid of Tinder because I wanted to focus on myself. But I'm back on that Tinder grind, which means I have so much to share with you. I've broken this video into like 3 categories, which is profile, location, and of course, flags, because everyone's got a few red flags. So let's talk profile. One of the first things that caught me like off guard about Korean Tinder profiles was that everybody had this like number in their bio, and it was like 177/64 or 182/72, and I was like, what is this number? And so when I asked my friend who had been here for a while, she was like, you idiot. It's height and weight. And I think the reason why this took me a little bit longer to figure out than it should have was the fact that in Canada we use pounds and feet and inches. We don't use centimeters and kilograms, and that's how their weight and height is written. On my profile, I do have my height because I am a tall girl. But I'm not putting my weight on there. First of all, it changes all the time. Second of all, like, what? Sir, you do not need to know that about me. So if you see those numbers, that's what you're seeing. That is height and weight. Another thing that you might see, particularly if you're swiping on guys who are like a bit older or younger, it's kind of both extremes. You might see 2N or 3N in someone's bio. Basically, they're saying like 2N means they're a 20-something and 3N means they're a 30-something. So basically, they just don't want to tell you exactly how old they are. So whether it is because they are like 39 and they don't want you to know that, or they're 21, they don't want you to know that they are that young. Sometimes they'll put an N as like an unknown number. But this is the thing that I don't understand about it, is that like on Tinder, it has your age. I don't know. But if you see it, 2N, 3N, 4N, that means 20-something, 30-something, 40-something. The next thing you're gonna see is maybe some acronyms. And I think one everyone universally will recognize, but the other one took me like a while to figure out, which is a little embarrassing. On Korean Tinder, people are very straightforward. They're gonna tell you exactly what they're looking for. So the first one that you're gonna see a lot is friends with benefits. For the most part, lots of people are on there to hook up. So you'll see a lot of friends with benefits. The one thing that I would say about friends with benefits here is that there's not really a big friend component. Like FWB is like, hey, I'm gonna repeatedly come over to your house at 2 o'clock in the morning. So just something to keep in mind, that friends with benefits here, in my experience, is more sneaky link. And then the other one that you're gonna see on there is ONS. And this is the one that took me forever to understand. But ONS is one night stand. This also kind of confused me because I get it, it's in the era of COVID, but I believe that this existed beforehand. I just don't understand why you wouldn't go to a bar and pick someone up. I feel like it's so much effort to be on Tinder to find someone to sleep with one time only. Anyways, if you see ONS, it stands for one night stand. That's what that is. Sometimes people have one night stand and friends with benefits both in their profile, and I'm like, isn't that kind of the same? Anyways, so the next thing we gotta talk about is location. I think Tinder is having a promotion right now where you can turn on Tinder Passport for free. So if you wanna take a swipe through Seoul, go ahead and do that, who cares? The 3 neighborhoods that I think you'll be familiar with and you might be interested in swiping on are Gangnam, Itaewon, and Hongdae. So these are like some of the big like partying bars, clubbing districts, but they all have a very unique vibe and they attract different types of dudes. So if you're looking for like a younger person who's maybe more into like street style, you're gonna wanna be swiping in Hongdae. So Hongdae is like kind of like a university town inside of Seoul, because I think there's a few universities around there. Anyways, it's all young people in Hongdae and they've got like a really cool like hip hop, streetwear, tech wear vibe for the most part. Obviously this is not gonna like cover everybody who lives there or who goes there, but for the most part, that's who you're gonna come across. So definitely recommend Hongdae if you yourself are in university, or like if you're into like buskers and like street dancers, you could potentially match with one of those people if you're swiping in Hongdae. The next place I might turn my Tinder passport to would be Itaewon, and I would turn it to Itaewon if I was interested in finding someone who's a little bit older than the vibe that you get in Hongdae. I think in the way that you go out with a guy in Hongdae and you do shots, when you go out with a guy in Itaewon or a girl, you are probably having beer and like a classic cocktail, like a G&T. That's like the Itaewon vibe. It's a little bit older, a little bit more confident and comfortable, and somebody who like maybe goes to like art galleries. I don't know. This is just one girl's opinion. But if you're looking for someone who like has maybe started their career and is a little bit older in their mid-20s, but still is like really cool and really self-aware, then you want to be in Itaewon. The other thing about Itaewon is if you don't speak Korean, in my opinion, you are more likely to find an English speaker or foreigner if you're swiping through Itaewon, because there is a large foreign population in Itaewon and in like surrounding areas like the HBC, and so you're gonna find more foreigners automatically on the app. And then also on top of that, because lots of people swipe around their place of work, anybody who works in Itaewon for the most part will have some level of English, because they serve foreigners like a little bit more frequently than someone who might work in another district or area. So you are more likely to find an English speaker if you're swiping in Itaewon, just because of the demographics there. The last place that I would suggest you turn your Tinder to would be Gangnam. And again, we continue to go up in age. That being said, you can meet any guy of any age in any place in Korea, obviously, but in Gangnam, I think the majority of people who are swiping there are gonna be mid-20s to mid-30s. And lots of these people have like an established career, and I say that because beside Gangnam, like clubbing shopping area is like the Fidai in the business district. So you're gonna get a lot of people who are just swiping at their job. And we were doing shots in Hongdae, we were having beer and classic cocktails in Itaewon. In Gangnam, you are having like a bottle of wine. You're having like a custom cocktail. It's leveled up a little bit. I would say also some of the people you're gonna be swiping on in Gangnam are gonna be a little more affluent. Yeah, now that we've covered the profile and we have covered the locations, the last thing we're gonna talk about are red flags. Now, before I even get into it, I understand that what might be a red flag for me might be a green flag for you, but these are just some things that I've consistently noticed and I wanted to bring them up. So let's get into it. So the first red flag I wanna talk about is one that I swipe on all the time, and my friends actually make so much fun of me for it, but it is guys who do not post their faces. So they post with like blurred out faces, they put emojis over their faces, they crop their heads out of the pictures, whatever it is, they post with no face. And every once in a while, I'll come across one of those posts and his head is in it, but he just like, he has like his bucket hat pulled over his eyes, or he's like turned away, or he's just got a cool vibe about him. So then I match with those guys. But what I've learned is basically when you match with a guy who does not show his face on the app, it's one of three things. Thing number one, he has a girlfriend, he's married, whatever, he's attempting to be unfaithful. And so something to be aware of. I personally don't condone adultery, so that's a no-go for me. Number two is he's done that because he is he doesn't consider himself attractive. And then the third one, which I always tell myself in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, this is why he's doing it, this is why he's doing it, is because it's someone of some notable level of fame. And this did actually happen to me one time, although I never went out with a guy because it just dragged on for forever. But I matched with a guy who had no picture of his face, and it was like pictures of him in Paris and pictures of him in New York, and I was like, this guy travels, that's a vibe, maybe he's famous. And it turned out that he was like probably like C-list celebrity, I guess. He's in this group that sings ballads, and so like when I added him on Kakao, like his Kakao background was like he was in like GQ Korea, and I was like, but yeah, we never met. We talked for a really long time, but then we never met. I got bored and I deleted the app. The next one is like almost a subcategory of the no face picture. And I feel like this also happens in North America a lot, but you'll get guys that just post pictures of their bodies, like, you know, headless naked torso. You'll get that a lot. But what is really unique about Korea, which I thought was interesting, is you'll get like the torso shot of like, here's my six pack or whatever, but then you also get pictures of their hands. I never thought hands were sexy until I moved to Korea, and then I've seen all these pictures of like guys with like with rings on and like. But anyways, if you see someone posting headless naked torso, you're probably gonna see some pictures of their hands with like nice ass rings on, and then their bio will probably say friends with benefits or one night stand. So if you're into that, you can definitely find it on Korean Tinder. So the last one I literally knew nothing about, and then I had seen it so much that one day I was just like, oh, I have to put this in Papago. And let me tell you, I lost my mind. There is this quiz somewhere on the internet in Korea that tells you what your kinks are. And guys will just straight up post this. It's a graph, and it says like 99% dom, like 60%. I don't know anything else other than that, but it will just rank their kinks. If you're into that, there it is for you. If you're not into that, that's something for you to avoid. I always say don't ever yuck someone else's yum. So that's what that is. If you want it or if you don't want it, there it is. But that caught me off guard because I never have come across that swiping on North American Tinder. And that, my friends, was Kimmy's unofficial official guide to Korean Tinder. Hopefully it will help you secure the best hot girl, hot boy summer for 2021. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I seriously am curious. Let me know where you think I swipe. Is it Hongdae? Is it Itaewon? Is it Gangnam? Seriously, let me know. I post videos every Sunday. Sometimes they look like this, sometimes they're vlogs, sometimes they're about my life as a teacher. But if you want to be the first one to know when they're up, be sure to hit that notification bell. I think currently there's like 15 of you that do that, which is really cool, and thank you. Anyways, that's it. I'll see you next week. Bye.